Hello again. Welcome to English on Fire. I'm Jessica, and today we're going to talk about these really difficult sounds, L and R. Okay, let's get into it. So I've been a little nervous about getting into the topics of the L and R sounds because they are so incredibly difficult. The reason why is because in some languages, it's just represented by one sound, like the L sound. So there's no distinction between L and R. But of course, this difference is very different for English speakers. The other reason is that maybe that sound is just produced a little differently. For example, like in a lot of Romance languages like Spanish or Italian, you might have a little bit more of a R. I personally know a lot of English speakers who cannot actually roll their R's like R. So their only option is to say R, which does not sound super elegant if you're trying to speak about something in Spanish. But alas, the time has come. We will be talking about L and R. And the way we're going to talk about L and R today is by only talking about the versions of these consonants that come as a true consonant. Now, there's another version of L and R that basically functions like a vowel. That will be a topic for another day because it is just a little bit too difficult to get into right now. The way that we handle this, like we do other things, is to make sure, first of all, that we can understand the difference between the two sounds. And then we will test our abilities and train our tongue to make those sounds so that we don't really have to think about it when we actually go to speak. Remember, muscle memory is like a really incredible tool. It takes some of the effort out of speaking another language. So wherever we can use muscle memory, we want to do that. First, we are going to see if you can distinguish between the two sounds. Are those sounds distinct to your ear? If you can't hear it, you won't be able to produce it. Right, right, right. Read, read, read. Low, low, low. Long, long, long. Glass, glass, glass. Bro, bro, bro. Brazen, brazen, brazen. All right, how'd you do? Sometimes hearing it in the context of a sentence makes it just a little bit easier. So let's give that a try. I'm going to say 2 sentences and you choose the word that I say. The rake was near the house. The rake was near the house. Please collect your partner's work. Please collect your partner's work. So now you should have an idea of whether you can hear the difference between these two sounds. Let's talk about how to make these sounds. And this is where I get nervous because L is pretty easy, but the R has so many different qualities and different ways that English speakers produce them that it can get a little bit sticky. But I'll do my best to give you the simplest way to produce these sounds. The most important point when we are working on L and R is that they are distinct. So when we make the L sound, it's pretty easy. I like to just take my tongue to the top of my mouth behind my teeth, curl it up, and you just let it go. La, 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 la. It occurs in many, many different languages. This type of L is not the difficult part. La, la, Now the R is tricky because the R also, the tongue is up in the mouth and it also moves a little bit, but the way that it exists in the top of the mouth is a little different. So what I think of is I think of the top of your mouth, it's kind of like a bowl, right? It's like an upside down bowl. And what you want to do is create almost like a bottom side of the bowl with your tongue inside your teeth. So it's gonna almost close around in the front like this. And the tongue in the front curls a little bit. And what I find is if you try to round your lips, like close your lips a bit in the front, it helps the tongue to create this. Now on its own, it sounds like, and you can feel the buzzing on the tip of your tongue up in the roof of your mouth against the palate. And really use those lips to help you get the sound in the right place. Then from there, you can roll the tongue a little bit. Roll, roll, roll. And I feel my tongue going, that's why R and L gets confused and is difficult for many speakers because it can be close, very close in their languages. It's just that a tiny bit of tongue movement makes it a completely different sound. La, ra, la, ra. And see how my lips really help make the sound more focused and are like la, ra, la, ra. Also the jaw. The jaw with the R needs to be more closed. La can be, your mouth can be open. La, and then R, ra. It's a little bit rougher. Let's go into some practice. I'm going to give you some minimal pairs. And what you do is practice, and I would say, again, use the mirror. The mirror is your friend. Practice somewhere where you can really hear yourself and feel yourself making these sounds. The car is a great place because you can focus on that while driving. And I'm a big fan of practicing in the shower because you're relaxed. You can kind of feel the vibrations of what you're saying. There's something magical about the shower and practicing language. Play, pray, play, pray. Flee, free, flee, free. Flame, frame, flame, frame. Lake, rake, lake, rake. Blight, bright, blight, bright. Glue, grew, glue, grew. He put the paper in the flame. He put the paper in the flame. He put the paper in the frame. He put the paper in the frame. You always go the long way. You always go the long way. You always go the wrong way. You always go the wrong way. Now, when you're practicing these, I would attempt even to turn on the voice type function in Google Docs. And you can do this on your computer or you can do this on your phone and see what Google Docs can discern from what you're saying. If Google Doc cannot detect whether it's R or L, you probably need to do some more fine tuning of the muscle memory. Another exercise to help further your RL distinction and really get those muscles warmed up. There's an exercise that as a young singer I used to use, and it just makes my speech so much clearer. Red leather, yellow leather, red leather, yellow leather, red. Let's do it again. Red leather, yellow leather, red leather, yellow leather, red. As you're practicing this, think about the lips. Red leather, yellow leather, red leather, yellow leather, red. Use them to make the sound. Red leather, yellow leather, red leather, yellow leather, red. red leather, yellow leather, red leather, yellow leather, red. Blech. You know, it's hard for everybody because your tongue is going back and forth. But this is what muscle training is about. You do the work on something ridiculous so you don't have to think about it when you have bigger things to think about. So that's it for today. At this point, you should know how to make the sound. You should know whether you can hear the difference in the sound. We've practiced some minimal pairs to make sure that you can produce the sound differently. We've listened to the sound and produced the sound in context of a phrase. And then I gave you a muscle training warm-up that's used for performers here in the US. Please like, please subscribe. If you have any questions, suggestions, comments, please use the comments below. And that's me, Jessica, signing off. Until next time. Take care, everybody.